Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are right at 8:30, so we are going to go ahead and call the meeting to order here. Welcome to the Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Alcoholics Anonymous. My name is Brian, and I'm an alcoholic. A couple quick announcements. We got our t-shirts, we got our hoodies on display, stage left here. It's hoodie season, so if you're interested in purchasing a hoodie, you can see me, see Ron after the meeting. A reminder, this group is all about service. We got a couple of H&I commitments that we do on a weekly basis. We got one going on Sunday nights. Me and Ron will be up there tomorrow night. If you're interested in coming out for that, sharing maybe 5 to 10 minutes of your time, come up there, share your experience with these guys. They really appreciate it. We've been bringing big books into that facility for a number of years now, and yeah, they really appreciate us up there. So if you're interested in doing that, get involved in some service, come see me, see Ron, see any home group member after the meeting. With that, I am going to bring up the world's greatest chairperson, all the way from Louisiana. Please help me give a warm welcome to Kara.
Good evening, y'all. Welcome home. Welcome to Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Alcoholics Anonymous. My name is Kara, and I am an alcoholic. This is a 1-hour speaker meeting that meets every Saturday evening at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, 301 North Main Street, Doylestown, PA. Food and fellowship starts at 8 p.m. and speaker at 8:30 p.m. The business meeting for this group meets every Saturday at 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. right here. Please come early and join us. The purpose of this group is to provide a consistent message of hope and recovery through God reliance and service to others through the practice and teachings of the 12 steps. We record our speakers so that others may benefit from their message of recovery. If you wish not to be recorded, simply ask. This is an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. The group would like to welcome everyone, especially newcomers. Is there anyone new or from out of town that would like to introduce themselves with their first name? You York.
I'm York. I'm an alcoholic.
Welcome, York.
I'm Claire. I'm an alcoholic.
Welcome, Claire. Welcome, everyone. The Conscious Contact Speaker Group encourages sponsorship. Would anyone with working knowledge of the 12 steps and is willing to sponsor, please raise your hands. Wow, love it. Are there any announcements for the good of AA? Nick?
My name is Nick. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Nick.
October 25th in Perkins at St. Andrew's Church. There's a costume party, Halloween party, fun, fellowship, dancing. Bring covered dish if you want. It's $10. I have a flyer if you're interested. There's 2 AA speakers, and it's a cool event. So come see me if you want the flyer. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Dave?
Dave, alcoholic.
Hey, Dave.
The Rule 62 Women's Meeting in Hatfield is having their 4th year anniversary, and that is Friday, November 7th. But this is open to everyone, men and women. Starts at 5. Food and fellowship starts at 5. Meeting is at 6. We'll have 2 speakers, and that is at the Heidelberg Church on Calcath Road in Hatfield. You can see me after the meeting if you need more information.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Our sister group is a Big Book study meeting that meets every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. just up the street at Salem UCC Church, 186 East Court Street, Doylestown. Coffee is on at 6:15. We have meeting lists and big books on easy terms. Please see me or any home group member after the meeting. If you cannot afford a big book, the Conscious Contact Speaker Group will give you one at no charge. Anyone willing to make donations for the purpose of the big books to help those who cannot afford them can put donations in the jar on the table marked Big Books and CD Donations. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and our Facebook group. Subscribe and share. You can find our speakers there. Join our Facebook page to keep informed, and you can share upcoming events and meetings. Now I would like to introduce a good friend of the Conscious Contact Speaker Group. Jason's going to come up and read Just for Today, Prayer of Recovery. Let's give him a warm welcome. Woo!
Jason, I'm an alcoholic. Just for today, prayer of recovery. Just for today, I will be agreeable. I will look as well as I can, dress becomingly, talk low, act courteously, criticize not one bit, not find fault with anything, and not try to improve or regulate anyone except myself. Mark? Who is it? Now we'd like to bring up Michael.
Okay, my name's Michael and I'm an alcoholic. The AA Preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues, fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contribution. AA is not allowed with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and to help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Okay, with that, I'd like to bring up Nick to read the 12 steps.
My name's Nick, I'm an alcoholic, also known as Alcoholic. Welcome home, everybody. We're glad you're here tonight. And these are the 12 steps of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. And 10, we continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. Thank you for letting me read. Also, please take some pretzels home. Whatever food's left over, please help yourself. Thank you. I'll bring Kara back up to introduce our speaker.
Hello, y'all. Before I get started again, I'd like to give Jason a quick shout out over here. Jason, he works endlessly on uploading all of our speakers to our YouTube channel, and he works so hard. Woo! Okay. Our 7th tradition states, every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. At this time, I would like to pass the basket. We have no dues or fees, but we have expenses. This group provides many services. Your donations cover food, rent, big book, CDs, events, workshops, etc. There is absolutely no smoking on church property. Please take a moment to silence all cell phones and limit movement during the meeting to avoid distractions. Now, I'd like to introduce the speaker as a good friend of the Conscious Contact Speaker Group. Let's welcome Ante T. He came all the way from Croatia. Woo! Woo, 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 woo!
Super intense. Hi everybody, Ante, I'll quote. I have sobriety date, it's August 24, 2008. My home group is Howard County Speaker Meeting. We meet in Parkland, Maryland, Tuesday. Hi. Tuesday, 8 p.m. And I'm an alcoholic. That is the most important thing, because I wasn't an alcoholic when I came to you guys. And if anybody is new here, I suggest catch alcoholism as soon as possible. Because people who don't catch alcoholism on time tend to die from it. And I almost died from it. That's how I know. Obviously, hear my accent. I'm not from Doylestown area. I insisted on geographical cure for alcoholism, and I'm here to report that this continent is not working either. I just tried everything. I didn't know what was, just didn't know what was wrong with me. Youngest of three, come from a good home. There was no abuse. There was no dysfunction. But as far as my memory goes back, just always felt just weird. Just felt weird. Just felt off. I was weird looking. I was like a 6'2" before I was 10 years old, like big ears, big nose. I just did not like myself. Both of my sisters are physicians, so there would be always these medical magazines all over the place. And I remember reading one time, I was so concerned with my ears. And I remember reading in this magazine, it said, there are two organs in the human body that never stop growing. It's your ears and your nose. I remember freaking out, having a panic attack. I'm going to look like a Yoda in a few years. But just childhood was just stuff. Until I picked up a drink. And I started drinking, I don't know, maybe 13, 14 years old is when I got drunk. We don't have a Puritan system of society like you guys have here. So there's no such thing as underage drinking in Croatia. I was actually born in Yugoslavia. So it's kind of a pretty good deal for alcoholic. I remember getting loaded up with my buddies and man, alcohol just sets me free. Alcohol, what alcohol does for me, that's what makes me an alcoholic. Not what alcohol does to me. What alcohol does to anybody, pretty much the same thing. But what alcohol does for me is alcohol changes my perception. Alcohol does exactly the same thing, these things, identical thing, just without the consequences. Because my ears didn't shrunk or my nose, but I felt okay. I like, myself better when I was drunk. My buddy says, I like you better when I was drunk. And that's true. Alcohol saved my life. I love drinking. Alcohol saved my life long enough to come to you people. If I didn't found booze, I feel at that time I would probably be one of them teenage suicide kids. Just love alcohol. When people say my worst day sober, okay, it's all right, super creepy. When people say my worst day sober is better than my best day drunk, I'm like, hell no. Did you hear that loud? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because I can give you my worst day sober. I was 3 years sober in a fetal position with a gun to my mouth, trying to have enough balls to pull the trigger. And we need another 3-4 hours to tell you guys about my best day drunk, but it's not even in a head blast. It's not even in the same category. And that's it. I started drinking. I fell in love with booze. I always felt you have to be really stupid to wait for a weekend to feel like that again. So I often drink as much as I could. And like I said, alcohol just completes me. Alcohol sets me free. Alcohol makes me function. I'm perfectly fine. And then there was no prices to pay. Like I told you at the beginning, I was born in Socialist Federative Republic of Yugoslavia, and in 1991, we declared independence, and the Civil War blew overnight. Everybody between 18 and 55 were drafted. My best friend was drafted. I was 15 at the time. Up-and-coming alcoholic. I know it's going to come as a surprise to you guys. I have a really big ego. I watched too many Chuck Norris movies at the time, so I'm just going to handle this war situation real quick. I joined the military, and then I just got stuck there for the next 5 years. And I did everything you do in war. I seen everything you see in war. Ron loves this story, so I always mention it. I wasn't sober for there's not too many Saving Private Ryan moments. Everybody's petrified 24 hours a day. And that was me, and I was not sober 24 hours a day. That was more important than anything. Give me a liquor and ammunition. That's all I need. I feel like as an alcoholic, I feel not as an alcoholic, as a human being, I think we all have just like some kind of pyramid of needs. I need to breathe. I need to eat. I need to drink water. And the list goes on. Girlfriend, education, career, blah, 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 blah. But when I take a drink, when I take a first drink, picking up a second drink, right after breathing, almost identical. I don't need to eat. I don't need to have a relationship. I don't need the career. I don't need anything. That this is everything to me. That's what alcohol, the feeling that alcoholism lives inside of me, it's like it's like leave my house sometimes, or whatever place, and just kind of know that I lost something, that I forgot something, but I just can't remember what it is. And that's the feeling that I have, that there's something missing. Something is just not right, and I'm just intuitively looking for it. But I don't know what I'm looking for because I don't know what's missing. I just know I'm just looking for. And so for those 5 years, I was drunk to the point that when there would be no liquor, I would go straight to the infirmary and got ethanol, which is 97% alcohol. That's the top shelf. There is no, 98% does not exist. And I would take ethanol, and knowing from my biology class, if you drink ethanol, you're just going to lose your eyesight. You're going to go blind. So it was just like a matter of how to put this in my system, kind of keep my vision going. And there is a way. You take ethanol and you pour it in a rag, and you rub it in your head, and it works. And it works. Anybody not done drinking yet, you can try some controlled ethanol rubbing. But also, I don't want anything I say here tonight. I got already warned about profanities, which I'm kind of doing good so far, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. But I don't want anything I say here tonight, any of you take it as a personal indictment of what I think you should be doing in AA. Because, I look at, I don't know, I look at some people in AA and I'm like, this has nothing to do with recovery. And then probably some people are looking at me and they're like, this is a bunch of crap. But this is just my experience. I got shot and wounded a couple of times during those 5 years. And war ended in 1995. Croatia got its own independence, and I was retired. I was 21 years old, didn't have any formal education, and that's when my alcoholism just took off, drinking heavy. I was always in a blackout. I always say I had blackouts when they first came out. I love blackouts. I used to call them time travels because I would just wake up in my bed and I don't remember nothing. And then I would call my boys and they would tell me some stupid shit I did last night, and it was just so much fun. fun was kind of slipping away. I wake up and my gun is completely discharged, and I don't know what I did last night, and that happened on numerous occasions, stuff like that. And I'm the guy out of the big book trying to control and enjoy my drinking. Don't drink in the mornings, don't drink liquor. Anybody tried to hide booze from themselves, that's me. I always found it. Just like the craziest thing. Also, not being educated. Little difference between our countries. Here it's cool, you can be like a total loser for years, no education, then just kind of go and pass some GED and get some, degree or something. We don't have that in Croatia. You got to go to school. So I was, after the military, I was 21 years old. War started in my first grade of high school, so I was 21 years old when I went to my second year of high school, sitting with 16-year-old kids. And that's how I graduated school, and I was about to go to college. I always wanted to be a zoologist, but my mind was already, I just want to be at peace. I just want to be happy. And I went to business school because I wanted money. I want to be a big shot. And my mom would see that in me and would say, why are you chasing money so much? It's not going to make you happy. I'm like, Mom, only the broke people always say that. So I went to business school, and that's it. I started business school, and drinking was not something I tried to stop just yet. But like I said, it was progressively getting worse. I was in a bar one night. I was like trash, completely blacked out. I thought these two smoking chicks want to get at me sexually, these twins. And what was really going on, it was just like one chick I was already seeing double, and her husband was with her, and he wasn't into me at all. So by the end of that night, I just got stabbed all over my chest, ended up in 72-hour coma, waking up from a coma, plugged in all kind of machinery. My mother came, my sisters, and my girlfriend at the time, and I made a promise that I'm never going to do this again. I'm done. I'm sorry, I love you guys, I'm done. And you could put me on a polygraph machine, I wasn't lying. But alcoholism don't care. I sponsor a lot of guys, and they're like, we all have, I can't do too much, I have a job, I have 7 kids at home, my mom is in a wheelchair. That's great, that's noble, but alcoholism don't give a shit. Alcoholism just don't care. And alcoholism didn't care at that time. I didn't even know that I have alcoholism. I was, nailed to that bed for like a few weeks because of my injuries, and after maybe like a month, once they put me in a wheelchair, I overdosed in the same hospital. My alcoholism progressed to heroin addiction. I always talk about that. Out of the respect to Alcoholics Anonymous. I do not come here and introduce myself as an alcoholic and a drug addict, because I'm not a drug addict. My addiction stops, ends, it's dead the moment when I stop using. That's it, that's the end of it. But my alcoholism starts there. If you take any, I'm not here. If you take any human being on this planet and give him heroin for a week, he will be addicted to heroin. And if you take any human being on this planet and you feed him alcohol, only alcoholic will get addicted to alcohol. So I belong to a very, very small group of people that have allergic reaction to alcohol. And after that, I was dating this girl, just like I have this, not grandiose, just like have, you hear plenty of speakers, they talk about, I get like chills when they talk about like, I ran out of ideas. I never ran out of ideas, like never. So I always have something going on, and that was, another idea of mine that I just kind of need to chill down and relax and blah, 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 and calm down and settle. And, I was dating this girl, I don't know, for years, and then the last time we got back together, I got a pregnant, really AA-style pregnancy really quickly, and everything's gonna be great. And just like the big book talks about, I have good intentions. I have moral convictions, but I cannot live up to them because just needed power wasn't there. I wanted to be a good brother. I wanted to be a good son, a good student, good boyfriend. Just I couldn't. I couldn't. There's no source in me. There's no life in me. So I'm walking around this planet like a big baby with umbilical cord just waiting to plug into you and suck every emotion and every dollar bill that I can. Not because I'm bad, not because I'm evil, because I don't know how else to live. You know, and she left me like right there, like wedding was done. Everything was done. And she just, you know, went, did the abortion, and that just kind of, my grandson also talks about direct hit. Kind of near misses won't do. I will admire the hum. I need a direct hit. And that was like direct hit that I was like, you know, any shithole that I put myself in was connected with alcohol and drugs. And I'm the guy who runs my life on intellect and reason. So when you apply logic into that equation, if I just remove this out of the equation, problem should be solved. Correct? Just like our problem is selfishness. It's got nothing to do with booze. My problem has never been alcohol. And when you think about selfishness, what is selfishness? Ante, if you don't give nothing to nobody, you'll have more for yourself. Make sense? It's logical, it's mathematically correct, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I was just, I'm not the guy that likes the kind of drain. I would just know that I'm so toxic that any kind of prolonged exposure to me would get you hurt, and I would just like hate the interaction with my family members. So I just like packed my shit one day and left. And for the next like 5-6 years, I speak 5 different languages, not because I wanted to be multilingual, but like I said, I'm treating alcoholism with geographical cure, and I moved to Italy, then Germany, Hungary, I mean, all over the place, just trying to rediscover myself, always exciting, new page, new chapter, it's all going to be good. And alcoholism, like I said, don't give a shit. What I want, what I think I need. That at that time, I just kind of quit drinking. I was in Germany at the university. I was finishing my 3rd year, and I was applying to a bunch of different places. And finally, I got a scholarship here to come to Temple University on my senior year. And you know, I stopped drinking. You know, my previous, you know, sobriety were no longer, like I said, I don't do good sober. You know, I'm never suicidal drunk. Never in my life thought of suicide drunk. Plenty of experience being dead on sober, trying to, just like I said, have enough balls or courage or whatever you want to call it, just kind of to off myself, and kind of everybody will be just better off without me. And I was sober for a couple of years at that time. Came back to Croatia just a few months, told my family I'm, you know, moving to the United States, and I came here 2002. Like I said, scholarship, Temple University. I get what you guys sell here. I got your little American dream. I got a house, fancy house in Lower Merion, and I got a fancy job in the World Bank, and every morning I would drive down the goddamn Schuylkill Expressway. All I wanted to do is turn under the 18-wheeler. That's all I wanted to do. I was 3.5 years old. So that's why I said, when somebody says my birthday is sober, I'm like, shut up, dude, please. Please. And I don't know what's wrong with me. Like I told you, my sisters are, you know, physicians. I did a trip to every friend and every recommended psychiatrist, therapist. And what I'm doing, I'm, like the big book talks about, I'm either lying, manipulating something, or even, you know, alcoholism shows symptoms that are symptoms of plenty of other shit. You know what I mean? You know, drinking is a symptom of alcoholism, and smoking crack and shooting dope and lying, manipulating, it's all, you know, so when I'm bringing that to the physicians, That's why I love our society. I love Dr. Silkworth, who had enough balls to say, like, we cannot help these people. With our ultra-modern standards, with our scientific approach to everything, just not well equipped to apply the powers of whatever this is to help these guys. But the physicians that I came, obviously, I don't know. I have so much experience with physicians and their egos that it's out of control. But that's what it is. It's their egos. They just can't say it. I'm like, no, I don't know what's wrong with you. But they're like, oh, I know. It's post-traumatic. It's bipolar. It's manic depression. It's ADHD. It's AC-DC, whatever. Like, I had like 1,000 diagnoses, 1,000 medications, and nothing was happening. And here, when I was hurting, working and being sober 3.5 years, and I'm like, bro, I just, future looks good. You look on me on the outside, and I'm like, man, looking good, doing good, future looks bright. And on the inside, I'm like, bro, it's abyss. And I go to therapy, because that's all I know. I pay these therapists. I don't even know how much money, but too much. And I'm not here talking shit on therapy, but I am. Like, therapy is not cure for alcoholism. I would never send somebody to therapists if you have a problem with alcoholism. Nothing. There is absolutely nothing there for you. And I go there, and like I'm telling her, I'm like, I can't sleep, demons, suicide, blah, blah, whatever I was saying. And she said, oh, Ante, that's normal. What do you mean that's normal? You had to be on top of your class. She said, it's normal to feel alienated when they come to a foreign country. I'm like, ma'am, you don't understand. I feel alienated on Christmas dinner with my family. It has nothing to do with me being here. And that's how I felt my whole life, like I'm waiting for a mothership to pull in and tell me, Ante, we dropped you off on the wrong planet. All right, take me home. That's exactly how I felt. She had prescriptions. Big Book talks about some kind of insanity proceeding to first drink. I don't have that either. I know exactly where booze is going to take me. Oh, I know. And I want to go there. And I wasn't taking her advice or her prescriptions. I went and drank. And I'll cut it short. Within not even 3 years, 2.5 years, everything was gone. And I'm not going to be telling you that alcoholism took nothing away from me. Absolutely nothing. I'm the guy who is willing to trade. I don't know how you ended up here, but I'm the guy who is willing to trade everything inside and outside of me for the feeling that alcohol gives me. So your fancy risk management career, or vodka. Your house in Lower Merion, or vodka. She said many times, it's me or this. I'm like, guess what I chose? But that's it. I ended up homeless. Very cute neighborhood of Kensington. And that's where I was. And I wasn't raised to be homeless. My New Year resolution for 2002 was not homelessness. I didn't plan to be homeless. But like I said, alcoholism don't care. I was homeless, and I always thought I'm a tough guy, but I'm not. But what I am is dangerous when I'm full of fear. When I'm running the streets, dangerous, hoping there'll be some animal just like me that can put a bullet in my head in the dark alleys where I existed. There would be a breath in me. I would probably say thank you. And I passed out on January 24, 2004. I passed out. It was like a big snow. That's all I remember, is going in a San Francisco mission, because it was so cold I couldn't even shoot up. And I was banging on the door. They let me in. I was playing that I need to use the bathroom. I was drinking, shooting dope, came out. That's the last thing I remember. Next thing I remember, I'm waking up in a pickup truck. Two guys were driving the truck, Mike and this guy Ed, and he turned to me and said, "What's up, G?" It's like, I woke up out of plenty of blackouts in bizarre places with bizarre people, but this was like really strange. What the hell is going on? They were sober members of Alcoholics Anonymous. They brought me to my first AA meeting, And it was this clubhouse on Kensington Avenue called Last Stop. Now it's like a bunch of hipsters moved in. It's all kind of fancy, but it wasn't fancy 20 years ago. Trust me when I tell you, I come to you guys. Welcome to Alcoholics Anonymous. And I come, there's like, oh my God, this guy was there. It's this rundown building. There's half of the roof is like a blue tarp over half of the roof. There's a hole in the floor, like huge, like digging the basement. And I'll never forget that the dog with 3 legs is like running around. And a bunch of, and it's like Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm like, wow, this is some plateau of lameness I never knew existed. But here I was, and when I'm a new guy, I am not looking for a way in. I'm looking for a way out. And it takes me about 10 seconds to separate. I'm looking at you guys, I'm a bunch of fucking Americans, look at this bullshit. Because I thought you guys, this is a society, or organization, whatever you call yourself, of people who have problem with drinking, and I don't. I don't know what's wrong with me, but like I said, my problem is sobriety. Alcohol creates problems, but alcohol solves problems. And the problems that alcohol solves are far more valuable than the problems that alcohol will create. And I was there packing my shit to leave, detoxing there, dying on the floor for a week or so at a time. And this kid would come there. And like I said, that neighborhood is like hip now, a bunch of hips. Nobody was coming there. Nobody was coming there 20 years ago, trust me when I tell you. But this kid would come there. He's originally from Maryland. He was associate in Olive Garden. He would come there and like be all happy and jolly. I mean, I was new guy here, man. Nothing about me was real. I was fake 100%, and I hated my guts. And he was just happy. And I remember him coming to me one night. We ended up talking. And he did, he did AA. He shared. That's my job tonight. It's not to carry a message. I don't even know what that means. My job is to tell the truth. That's it. Or the best I got is just my perception of the truth. That's all I have. And he sat across from me, and that's Alcoholics Anonymous for me. It's like one alcoholic sharing his experience with another for free and for fun and for the sole purpose of recovery. He talked about history of Alcoholics Anonymous. That's the first thing I talk with every new guy that ever sat across from me. Not for the sake of the knowledge, not for the sake that I know how my society started, but for the sake that I know what is Alcoholics Anonymous. And history teaches us that AA worked before we had, meetings, before we had old-timers, one-liners, before we had book written. AA works. That is AA. One talking with another. And I had the byproduct of that hope. Like I would look at my life and it's never ever been in a shittier position than that. But for some reason I just knew I'm going to be okay. But then he mentioned God. So you believe in God? I'm like, oh, here we go. I was raised Catholic. My parents never pushed religion on me. And to be honest with you, I always thought so little. My mom is a devout Catholic, and I just thought, got to be a little on the dumb side to kind of buy into that kind of stuff. And I told him, absolutely not. He said, Ante, have you ever been right about something? Like 100% sure you would bet your life on it. And then later it turned up you've been wrong. I said, well, maybe a long time ago, I think, once or twice. I said, yeah. And he said, well, maybe you'll be wrong about God. And that's what the second step is for me. If you open your mind, if you open your heart, and you take these actions that you don't believe they're going to work, but you take them anyway, that God, whatever God is, will prove himself to you personal. And that is my experience. There's no other talk in AA but about God. I'm sorry for the guys who are having issue with that. And that's a messed up thing for us. So you're telling me I have a progressive, chronic, terminal, and incurable sickness, and the only thing that gets me out is the thing I don't even believe exists. Yeah, that's the deal. That's the deal. And I wanted to say home that night. I went to the building, I slept on a concrete floor, and I said the prayer to God. I didn't believe or understood, and I said, God, I don't know who or what you are, but if you are, I need help. And nothing happened. I thought something that was, I feel my first honest prayer in my life, and nothing happened, but I follow direction. Alcoholics Anonymous, for me, it's not the time between preamble and the Lord's Prayer. I can be super cool here for an hour. It's the time between Lord's Prayer and the preamble. That is Alcoholics Anonymous. And that was my sponsor. I don't remember shit he was saying at the beginning, but I remember what he was doing. I would just follow his footsteps. I wrote that inventory, and of course, I'm the guy out of the big book, holding on to the worst item in the stock, because what is this guy going to think of me? And I gave my paper to him, didn't wrote the good stuff. He just chucked it away and said, tell me the worst thing you did, something that you didn't put on the paper. Like, I get chills, like he knew. I'm like, Scott, if you tell this to somebody, I'll execute the whole goddamn family, I promise you. And it's nothing I'm going to drop from the podium, but it's everything that I ever said to anybody that ever sat across from me. Like I said, I will trade everything for a drink. So you can use your imagination. I didn't have a fifth step experience. I wasn't excited or delighted. I was disgusted with myself. That is my fifth step experience. But what that did for me, it is smash the delusion. I was exposed to the truth for the first time in my life. Because the day before, if you were asked me, why am I drinking? I would have told you, because my father was never there for me. That bitch left. And I've been fucking killing people as a teenager, so get away from me. Like I said, I followed my sponsor's footsteps, and I was doing what he was doing, and I was getting better. Never went back to my career. I got a job working for Mexicans. I was their Mexican, doing construction with a bunch of Latino guys, and this guy, Eddie, and it was nuts. And I hated it, and I was getting paid $8 an hour, and I would get $320 a week paycheck. I would tell Scott, I'm like, bro, I would make this Monday before 9 a.m. What the fuck is this bullshit? I'm not like, he would be making me make amends and write money orders and stuff like that. But like I said, everything on the outside was still shitty, but I was feeling fine. I was feeling okay. I fell in love in Alcoholics Anonymous. I started helping. I started sponsoring people. There would be, I was sponsoring everybody, just men, women, whoever. There would be no women coming there. None. They were healthy. Let's put it that way. They were healthy enough. I would call my sponsor. I'm like, I don't know what to do with all these chicks. He's like, he would tell me, Ante, women wouldn't be in AA if the men didn't sponsor them, but you got to come with your heart and not with your pants. And that's one thing that I stuck to it. I never dated in AA. I never messed with girls. I didn't even introduce myself to women. I'm full-on segregation. Men there, women there. That would be, but luckily I'm not a moral compass or any kind of director of anything, which is, I get very disappointed the last few years with people posting shit on Facebook about politics. I'm like, bro, like out of all the people, alcoholics, we all have a common thread that you were delusional, not partially, but 100% was wrong about everything. And now you got sober for 15 minutes and you're talking some high ground shit on politics. Please shut up. Like, please shut up. I don't sponsor you. Post on Facebook, I don't sponsor you. Getting high. You're getting high. It's the worst addiction than alcohol. You're using. When you stop posting, I will help you. While you're posting, I won't. Just like sobriety is requirement for recovery. It is not recovery, but it's required to recover, is to be sober. Sorry about the rant. There'll be a couple of them. But I became Mr. AA. I became Mr. AA, sponsoring everybody and their mother. And I love doing puzzles. I've been doing puzzles my whole life. I don't have time as much, but that I don't know. It's just something I like, and that's why I always compare. Us coming to Alcoholics Anonymous, it's like that's what I bring here. It's like when you open the puzzle. That's my life, and I turn it around, and it's disintegrated in 1,000 pieces. I don't know what to do with it. And you guys tell me, well, the reason why it's disintegrated because you're trying to arrange it yourself. Why don't you stop doing it and go do this stuff and see what happens? And I've been doing that for about 3.5 years. And life got in order, and you peek over the shoulder at your life, and it's like, oh, nice. Like, thanks, God. It's great. But I got it from here on. I just got to fix this little, and like, whole thing falls. And I was at the meeting one night, just sick already. Flatlining in AA, I heard one guy say. My friend Claire called me to help her cousin, and we go to a meeting. I'm listening to my buddy Chris Brennan with the big book study. I'm like, oh my God, bro. There's nothing to study. There's nothing to study in that book. And I just left the meeting. I'm like, I'm done with this. And I got loaded. And I go home, and in my living room is more people than is here tonight. Everybody was there. I was trashed. I walk in, I'm like, yo, what's going on? My sponsor drove from New York. The people are crying. I'm like, what's up? My buddy Boots says, Ante, is it true about the phenomenon of craving? I'm like, I'll let you know tomorrow, Boots. And it's true. I wanted to be back in Alcoholics Anonymous tomorrow, but alcoholism don't care. My grand sponsor always said, picking up a drink for an alcoholic is like having sex with gorilla. It's over when gorilla says it's over. And gorilla said it was over 2 years from then. Like I said, August 24, 2008 is my new sobriety date. I woke up out of the blackout because my phone was ringing. My friend Katie was calling me. I was missing for a few days. Nobody knew where I'm at. I answered the phone. She's like, where are you? I'm like, I have no clue. And I'm surrounded with tens of thousands of people. I'm looking for a Philly skyline, and I can't find it. And I grabbed the guy in front of me. I'm like, bro, where are we? He's like, you serious? I'm like, yes, where are we? He said, Allman Brothers concert in Camden.
Oh my God!
I hate Allman Brothers. I don't know how I ended up there. I spoke at plenty of meetings. Somebody said, oh, I was at that concert. Well, me too, obviously. I was, like I said, Allman Brothers concert in Camden, August 24, 2008. I checked my stuff, money's here, wallet. I'm good to go. Went back to Philly, got a bunch of Coke, bunch of liquor, couple of Dominicans, which is never a good combination. Went back to my house, and also by the end of that night, got stabbed again, and they threw me out a window. So I had, 1,000 cuts like this, all over my body, and they shipped me to Episcopal Hospital. And then when they released me, I was also walking down the steps, and also the waiting room is full of AA. And all the guys I was sponsoring, all my friends, they're like, get in a car. My buddy Joe Tiska, he passed. He's like, get in a car, we're taking you to York. My sponsor, actually, that kid Scott, me and him moved in together. He fired me as a sponsor because we became best friends. And his sponsor, Steve, became my sponsor, and he's been my sponsor the last 20 years. He's like, get in a car, we're going to York. I'm like, bro, I'm not going nowhere. I got 80 more bucks. And I had to get loaded again. They shipped me to York, Pennsylvania. I don't know anybody been to York. Oh, heard about York, but they'll give, there's these brochures, visit historical York. I'm like, bro, it's historical because they didn't do any fucking renovations. It's 1700. But you come to the place and it's, there's a sign that says York City. I'm like, and where is the city? And that's where I came. Great people, great recovery. Place sucks. And I was there. The good thing about this, Big Book talks about some kind of spiritual malady. I see just the separation between me and God, just the distance between me and God. And that distance can be so big, and it became so big in my life that you start believing that God is even real no more. But the good thing about these principles is once you apply them back in your life, they work again. I didn't know what a principle was when I came here. I was like, what's a principle? It's something that applies to all of us equally. So if we climb on the roof of this church, and if I push you, there's a principle of nature called gravity, and you're going to go down. And you can say, I don't believe in gravity. I am not aware of gravity. Or I don't care about gravity. Gravity just don't give a shit what you believe. Same with these principles. If you're alcoholic of my type, the only way out is applying these principles in your life. And you can say, well, I don't believe that. I think I need the job and the girl and my, car bag. And well, that's good. You can believe whatever you want. But alcoholism don't give a shit. So I got better once more time in Alcoholics Anonymous in York, Pennsylvania. I stayed there for a couple of years. I came here on a student visa that's valid as long as you're a full-time student, not full-time alcoholic. So visa was expired, I was illegal. Long story short, I was a mess. And I stayed in New York for a couple of years. I met a lady there and moved back to Philly about 15, 16 years ago, and just living back my life. Got legal, opened a business. Also, another principle in my life, and I also seen it so many places, when I stop pursuing, it just comes. Like I told you about the girls, it just didn't want to date. You know what I mean? And then she showed up, we've been married, 13, 14 years. I have a great relationship with my wife and great marriage. I opened a business that I didn't know too much about, but I knew about these traditions. I applied them in my life. I wasn't there to make money. I was there to provide a service. And you know what started happening? Money started coming. So that's what was happening in my life. My family came to my wedding. It was the first time my sisters and my mother seen their son and a brother sober. I was there on my sobriety checkpoint. And it was awesome. Perfect life. I always joke in my life that she jinxed it, but she was always like, it's too perfect, just perfect life. And then 2017, my wife was pursuing career. Well, both of us were just like pursuing careers to the point, and then just like we're gonna make a family. We went to Croatia for a trip and came back, and my stomach was hurting. I thought it's just like a Franco's wings, but it turned out it's like stage 4 colon cancer, and you end up in a hospital. And I'm not the guy. I was talking to my doctor. I'm like, bro, don't bullshit me. I'm not. Just tell me the truth. He's like, get your affairs in order. You got 2 years to live. I don't know how other people reacted that. I lost my shit. I was, fuck you, God, and fuck this bullshit. Sorry about the profanity. I gotta tell the truth. That's exactly what I said. I had plenty of, Lieutenant Dan moments with God that I was just like, what's this for? My sponsor would always put a foot down and said, you'll be fine. I'm like, Steve, last time I checked, you're a fucking pilot, not the oncologist. And he would say, God didn't brought you this much to twist you upside down. I'm like, again, how would you know that? Doctor said what the doctor said. God hasn't spoke yet. I'm like, whatever, dude. I had like a whole period of depression and just the anger that I was just, I can't even describe that. Therapy, blah, 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 blah. Obviously I'm here 7 years later, still stage 4 colon cancer, but I'm still here. I'm still enjoying life. I'm still, alive and well. Corona happens, they told me I can't have any kids. I gave the sperm to the bank, and we had, my son Luca was born in 2020 with IVF, and then, 2 years later, my wife comes to me and says, I'm pregnant. I'm like, with who? I can't have kids. That's what the doctor said. So the only good thing about that whole stupid era of that Corona bullshit was that you can get a doctor on a Zoom meeting immediately. And it was the same doctor. And I'm like, bro, I just spent 30 grand in a goddamn clinic. My wife is pregnant. Like, what's up? That's how they are. Like, I will challenge you. Like, I'm not trying to be arrogant. Like, I'm navigating my own. If I'm listening to any doctor so far, I'll be dead 5 years ago. I will challenge you. Nothing impressive about your medical degree or any other degree. What is a degree? Like, you went, it's a discipline. You went to some school for 5 years or 6 years and you read hundreds of books that I can also read. Thank you very much. My daughter was born. Luca is 5, Mila is 3, and I don't know, directions are to share in a general way what I was like, not what it was like. What I was like, what happened, and what I'm like today. Because we have it all different. But what we were like, when I talk to my sisters about the hole in the soul, the emptiness, she's like, no, I don't. But when I talk with another alcoholic, oh yeah, only people here know their heads. When you feel like you're the only one of your kind, that I can be in the room full of my clones and still feel completely different and separated. Oh, we know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I don't know what God is. I don't know what God's will is. I don't know if God is real or not. What I do know is that when I live my life as if He is my loving Father who takes care of me, as long as I take care of my brothers and my sisters, my life gets full. My life gets amazing. That there is absolute power within every one of you, within me, that gives me a hope, purpose, and direction. I still have cancer. I don't want to die, but I'm ready to go. That's all I got to share. Thank you.
Okay, good evening again. My name's Brian. I'm an alcoholic. The group would like to thank Ante first and foremost for coming out here tonight, sharing an incredible message of hope and recovery with the group here. A couple quick announcements and we'll wrap up the meeting. We have food and fellowship every week starting at 8 o'clock here. Feel free to get here early, enjoy the coffee, the refreshments, the food we put out. If you want to get involved with this group, get involved in some service. Always looking for people to help out. A lot of moving parts going to this meeting. So again, if you want to get involved with service outside of the meeting, we got H&I commitments. You can see about that. If you want to help us out with the chairs, what are we going to do with chairs? Leave like two, 3 rows, or? Yeah, leave the chairs. Oh, we don't. Oh, yeah, the tables are back there. Sorry. We're going to leave the chairs and the tables back there where they are. We'll put away the chairs out on the floor here, all of them. And our speakers do come here on their own time and expense. So we usually form a line in the front here, and we thank our speakers on a personal level, if you'd care to do that. Thanks to everybody for helping out with the meeting tonight. Thanks to our greeters and our readers. And let's thank our speaker, Ante, one more time. And if you do care to join us, we have a beautiful way of closing down the meeting. We are going to circle up and close with our Lord's Prayer. And we will close down with a brief moment of silence for the still sick and suffering alcoholic inside and outside of these rooms, followed by our Lord's Prayer. Our Father,